amazing energy here. It's amazing to be here, and I cannot wait for us to delve into our conversation today. Hello, everybody. Oh, please, I like a lot of fans and energy. So, hello, everybody. All right, that's what we want right here. Great energy to start with. Let me officially say Wezo Akwaba and welcome to a very special episode of Just Turned 18 right here on Joy Prime. Now, my name is Loishola Adeyemi, and I am your host and moderator for today. Now, as I said, this is Just Turned 18, and we are coming to you from the Citadel of Excellence, Ghana's premier university. I am talking about the University of Ghana, Legon. Yeah, so from the way we are all clapping, it means that we agree, right? So a louder round of applause for our school, please. All right, so this year is an election year, and we all know that, right? As we all know that, we know that this year, many of the youths across the country who are eligible to exercise a franchise for the first time will be doing so. Because of that, Just Turned 18 has offered a platform for all of us youths, especially first-time voters, to tell and share our experiences, our expectations, and also get to participate in the presidential and parliamentary elections. Is that not good news? All right, today we have an experienced resource person amongst us. He is from the National Commission for Civic Education, and he will be helping us to appreciate why we fully need to participate in the national elections. But he won't be speaking alone. We are going to be asking all the questions that we want to know, and he's ready. In fact, he's poised. Because of us, he went to the gym today because he needed to come fully prepared, and he's going to make sure that he answers all our questions. Are we not happy about that? Before we kickstart the conversation, let me make us understand that this conversation is devoid of partisan politics. We are all political science students, so we know what partisan politics is, right? So we are going to make sure that there are no partisan politics in here. We are only going to speak on issues that matter to us and our country without bias. Now, before I introduce our special resource person, let me, say a very big thank you to our sponsors because we couldn't have done this without them. Today, we are thanking Youth Bridge Foundation for making this dialogue possible. Let's say a very big thank you to Star Ghana Foundation, Petrosol, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the Association of International Certified Professionals Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, and Shopbox Technologies. A big round of applause for them as well. And now to our guest. I told you this man hasn't slept. We called him a few weeks ago, and he's been preparing ever since, making sure that he's going to answer all our questions. Now, let's give a very big round of applause to Director of Programs at the National Commission for Civic Education, Dr. Imran Mohammed.
Thank you, beautiful students. It's amazing being here. As has been mentioned, my name is Imran Mohammed, the Director for Programs at the National Commission for Civic Education. And I hope a lot of you know about us, probably through some of the activities that we've been doing or through some media publications or and so on and so forth. But very briefly, National Commission for Civic Education is one of the independent governance institutions in addition to the Electoral Commission, the National Media Commission, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. We are specifically mandated to carry out education on the principles and objectives of the 1992 Constitution. And in doing so, young persons are our major focal point. Our work becomes more relevant when, democracy meets elections. Elections have over the years been a central pillar of democracy. And this year, we are going into an election. We are really amplifying the existing works that we've been doing across the country. We are headquartered in Accra. We have 16 regional offices. We have offices in all the district capital. And we have staff carrying out education on a daily basis in Ghanaian languages. So briefly, that is what I would like to share with you about our commission.
All right, let's put our hands together for him. I told you he hasn't slept and he has a lot to tell us and educate us. But let me also say a very big thank you to the Dean for Political Science Students Association for also making this possible. And we also have the President for Political Science Students Association here with us, Mr. President. I really envy you. When we close, please make me your vice, okay? All right. All right, because this is also an all-inclusive dialogue, we are happy to have Joyce Nyakwa Agbedozo, who will be our sign language interpreter. Before we get into this conversation, let me say this, that we are on Joy Prime. You can also find Joy Prime on DSTV 281, GoTV 124, and streaming. We're always streaming on all the social media platforms at Joy Prime TV. So please put your hands together for Joy Prime, because we are the ones putting this together, okay? We told you we are bringing the ultimate experience, and that is what we're going to be doing. But before we do the conversation, we have to sing because we are youth, right? So please, let's be on our feet as we sing the youth anthem. Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. Please put your hands together for yourself. Please, let's be seated. Now, let me do some small conconsa. Can I? Can I do some toli o toli? All right, so over the weeks, I've had the opportunity to speak to first-time voters like you and I, because I told you today I turned 18. Please clap for me and say happy birthday. All right, so we've been speaking to first-time voters who have told us issues, pertinent issues that would, tell them or influence the decision to vote. Now, some of them are saying that they will vote. They are excited to do that. And in fact, a significant number of them who have just turned 18 said, I will vote, because they believe that they can use their kokromoti. Their vote will make a change. They're ready, prepared, and they're ready to change the situations of Ghana. Now, the other half is also saying that they are not too sure how significant their voices are when it comes to the election. So they don't know why they should go and stand in long queues to vote. Now, today I stand here because I want to find out why we as 18-year-olds would want to vote. And as I said, we're not having this conversation alone. We have with us Dr. Imurana, who is going to be answering all the questions. But before we do that, I want to see how many of us have already registered, because you know that the limited voters registration is still going on, right? How many of us have registered, have gotten our voters ID? Let me see hands. Right, there's a number of hands. Okay, so I'm coming to you. So you tell me, the experience, you just went to take it. Are you excited? How was it? Share your experience with me. Let me see those who raised their hands. I can see, I remember, I'll come to you. All right, I see a hand here. Beautiful lady, you tell me your name. So if it's nice, I can steal it. And then you can tell me what the experience is.
I am Martha. It was stressful, the queue, but we stood under the sun just to make a new ID because the first one got missing and I have to do another one. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm number 4. I did my registration 3 weeks ago, and I did it at Legon campus in front of Legon main hall. Actually, I didn't go through stress because I was there early. I sat there on time, and they came to service me well. Even the MP for this constituency, Ma Lydia, came there, and she also gave me papaya. She shared papaya to the people, so yeah, I had a very wonderful experience over there.
So my name is Said Amatu. Even though it was stressful and other things, we have to move up and down from one place to other to a extent of going out of campus. That was the first week it started. There was a lot of queue. So the reason why we go through that is because we want to bring out our voices so that our voices will be heard and change will be made.
Please put your hands together for her and all those who answered. So at the end of the day, it is important. I like that she says that it gives us the chance to use our voices. Our voices are key. Our voices matter, especially when it comes to elections. Now, the floor is open. Any issue you want to put across, questions you want to ask, Dr. Imurana is ready.
My name is Gakweto Promise. Right. Please, my question is, per the EC decision, she decided to make the Ghana card the sole document for this, which is registration. So can't you see that the EC boss is trying to create some artificial barrier from other people to take part in this live voting? Because the thing is that some people really don't have the Ghana card. Payment like this, I don't have the Ghana card. So as I went there, they were like, unless I get guarantor, me who I don't have any guarantor. So I have decided to go back. All right, so that's my question.
All right. Two more so he can answer us. Two more so he can answer us, dear.
Please, Bismarck Mate. And please, mine is concerning what's going to influence, like, my decision in terms of voting. This time, this election is going to be my second time. For the first one, I voted based on influence, like from my family members and so on. But this time, I'm well informed, and I will be taking, like, some factors into consideration, like inflation and so on, the cost of things and so on. So based on these factors, will I be voting?
My name is Ofo Gifty. What will influence I'm a first-time voter, so what will influence my decision to vote is I'll be looking at the policies that the political parties have, not just going to vote for any political party at all. Check the policies and check how good they are, how they'll influence us, and whether they can do it when they come into power or not.
All right. So, Dr. Imurana, you've heard 3 of the questions. Please, you can answer us. Yes, you do.
10 and maybe stand here, right?
Yes, please.
Good. Thank you very much. I think these are very brilliant comments and observations. No surprises anyway, because we are in an intellectual community. So I'll begin with the first one about the voter registration and the involvement of the EC. Voting is a right, right? But no right is absolute. Before you can enjoy any right, there are procedures and processes. So within the constraint of procedures and processes, the Electoral Commission has the mandate to regulate how the acquisition of voter ID card should be. Within that regulation, they stipulated certain, the constitutional provision is there that if you are 18 years and above of a sound mind, ordinarily resident in a particular area. These are constitutional qualifications for a Ghanaian to vote. You are a citizen. But how then do we verify? How do we do it? Do we have to wait till election day and then ring a bell and say anybody who is above 18 should come out and vote? That will be chaotic. So the commission has to make regulations. Within those regulations, they came out with things that you have to show as a means of identifying yourself as Ghanaian. 2 documents for this registration. In the past, there has been other documents, but for the specific reference for this one, it is the passport and then the Ghana card, right? Rightly observed, not everybody has the Ghana card, not everybody has a passport. They added additional layer. If you don't have both documents or any of these 2 documents, bring somebody who has registered. So they have a guarantor system, right? Bring somebody who has registered to come and vouch for you, okay? If they vouch for you, if the fellow is qualified and has acquired the card, they use their qualification and their card to vouch for your citizenship and your qualification so that you can register. So it doesn't stop with only the Ghana card. And the second things were observations. Somebody spoke about voting for the second time and the fact that the first one, it was an influence from family. You know, people cast their ballot for several reasons, right? There is some family traditions, you know. This is how we vote in this family. Everybody should follow it, right? But, you know, the real thing is that, especially those of us here, we can read, we can decipher, you know, truth. We can decipher facts. Democracy thrives when we vote on policies and programs. Democracy is an end in itself. The end product of democracy should be development on several fronts: social development, economic development. That is what it should deliver to us. So in casting our ballots, right, in spite of every family pressure, it is more important that you vote based on issues. That is why the political parties advertise their programs. They tell you, this is what we want to do. It is better that we make choices based on issues. Then the third comment was about the difficulty in the registration, right? I love that this time we are talking about first-time voters. I think democracy, right, requires of us certain duties and responsibilities, right? If we have to enjoy the democratic system that we have, we continue to enjoy, because we've sustained democracy over 30 years. In some countries, right, leaders are chosen forcefully. Forcefully is a mild word. Forcibly, right? Through guns, through riots. And as young persons, maybe the little price that we can pay to sustain this our democracy is to bear with the system. It's not perfect. I would have loved that when you go to the registration center, it's a place like this where you have air conditions and then you can sit and wait. But we don't have that yet. But the little difficulties that we face at the moment should not be factors that should stop us from really going to register and using our thumb. That is one beautiful thing about democracy. Whilst in other forms of government, probably it is through an individual pronouncement. This is your leader. In democratic system, we are blessed with the power of the thumb. And all these difficulties that we complain about is to give us that opportunity. Somebody spoke about voice. To let our voices be heard in our system of government. So I think that as young persons, we have to bear with the system. We should also be part of the processes of making the system better in the future. Because now we have so much technological advancement, and young persons are in the forefront of technology. So we look forward, as you observe these difficulties, you'll be part of the process of solving these difficulties, so that in the future we can, move our system forward on the technological front. Thank you.
All right, please put your hands together. Now, more questions. Anyone with more questions? I see more hands. Beautiful. My beautiful lady, I'll come to you, gentlemen, but let me ask, what do you want to know? Please tell me your name and then the question.
Okay, so I'm Juliet Hilary Nadidi Ayi. So my question is, would there be another registration process? So let's say right now I'm 17, but I'll be 18, maybe September or October. Will I be allowed to register?
Okay. Dr. Miranda, please wait for me. 2 more.
Okay, so my question is, let's assume I'm a first-time voter, and per the election that has been taking places that we've been seeing, a lot of changes have not been happening. So I'm afraid of voting, because even if I vote, it will not change, because it's only 2 parties that keep on coming into power. And even if I vote or others vote, there is no change to it. It's still those parties that will still maintain or that will still be in power. So what is the way forward to educate such person like me?
The pressure is getting worse. My dear.
Okay, I'm Desmond Yeboah. My colleague said he left the place because he was not having a Ghana card, and the guarantor system too, he didn't bring anyone. So I'm asking that I had the opportunity to be a party agent at our constituency, and then when it happened like that, they would just take anyone to serve as a guarantor for that person. So I'm asking, is it very necessary? What is the effect on that?
All right.
Dr. Mirana, over to you.
Thank you very much. Let me answer or respond. I don't like the word answer. Let me respond to the question in order in which they came. I think the first person talked about any opportunity that exists for somebody who is 17 now and be probably 18 in September. I think per the Electoral Commission's timetable, this is the only registration window for people who have who can register for the coming election 2024. I know there has been several conversations. We don't have a perfect system yet. In some countries, they have what they call continuous registration. In others, they have continual, right? Continuous in the sense that any day that you are 18, you can walk to a nearby Electoral Commission office and register. Continual in the sense that the commission will periodically, maybe after here in September, there is another window. But they've not, all those things have to be regulated by laws. They've not done that yet. So unfortunately, per the arrangement that they have, this is the window for people who have acquired, who have attained 18. I think in the past, others will suffer similar fate because we were 17 or 1 month before previous registrations, and we couldn't access it. But there is hope. Our democracy, I believe, that continues. If you are unable to acquire a card for this one, there will be an opportunity for you in the future when the window opens. That is not, I spoke about having rights, but rights are not absolute. They should be regulated. No regulation is perfect, you understand? So these are some of the side issues. But like I mentioned, there are conversations within the Electoral Commission to do continuous registration in the future. We hope that things go in that direction. And I think the second question, somebody asked about voting and then nothing changes.
Yeah,
well,
the fact that it's only two parties that end up coming into power.
Well, so that is why we operate a multi-party democracy. I have not seen any of the single elections where you have only those two parties on the ballot papers, right? And as young persons, that is where I'm being careful because I don't want to be accused of inciting. That is where you come in strongly, right? I am passionate about young persons today because, look, when you take our population, 38% of the population are people between 15 and 35 years. It didn't stop there. 35% are people from 1 year to 14 years. When you put that together, what do you get?
Let's do the math.
Oh, basic
mathematicians.
What do you get? 73% of our population, that is you, right? And your younger siblings. So what voice do you have, right? I'm passing just these comments to provoke your thoughts. If you are unhappy, the fundamental thing is that we can't do away with our democracy. But there are certain processes, right, that we can engineer, right, to show our affection or disaffection to systems that are not working. And I don't even believe that Ghana is in total mess. We've done 30 years of democracy. 30 years was not 1 year. And within those 30 years, the policy analysts will tell you, right, in comparative terms, in terms of indices, Human Development Index, and so on and so forth, we have been better off than what happened previously. Disruptions of our constitutional rule. After every 2 years, somebody feels that things are not going on well, they take the gun and then they push that government aside. These 30 years has given us a lot. That is not to say we are there, but I'm saying that if we are uncomfortable with what is happening, still it is the thumb that we use to make choices. If you are uncomfortable with the two parties, there are several alternatives, including independent candidates, right? You can be part of coalition, building of coalition around, you know, I don't want to say forming your own political party, if I should say so, and also, you know, and defying the duopoly that you are not comfortable with. But don't say, yes.
Yeah, not even catch you, but also to highlight how important we are when it comes to the voting system or the elections. I want to say that comparative analysis is proving that in 2020, the last elections, our president was able to, you know, win with, or his marginal win was over 900,000 votes, almost over 500,000 votes, sorry. That means when we put all of that together, this year alone, the EC or the Electoral Commission is expecting that over 1.5 million first-time voters will be participating in the elections. Now, if you look at the marginal win win from last year. And even last, 4 years' elections, you would see that we are very important. If over 1.5 million first-time voters decide to vote for one political party, do you know how much that can make a difference? It can really make a difference because, as I said, 2016, the president's marginal win was a little below 1 million. And then in 2020, it was over 500,000, marginal win. Now we are putting this side by side, plus what we are expecting this year. We are over 1.5 million. We outweigh the number. Are we putting the maths together? So our voices are very important. So I agree with Dr. Imirana when he says that we have a voice.
I think the last one spoke about still an issue somebody raised. I think the guarantor system is not it's not a flat rate. There are also qualifications. Before somebody can guarantee, that fellow should also have the voter ID, right? I can't tell what happens. There are several polling stations, but that is the law. If anybody at all comes to guarantee for anybody without following the right procedure, I think it's not acceptable.
All right.
Thank you.
More questions? All right. Now let me start with you, dear. Your name and then your question.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Josephine Nti, and my question is based on the Ghana card. The Ghana card being a prerequisite for the voter's ID. You realize the case where a citizen has misplaced his or a Ghana card. And now we had an information that to replace your Ghana card, you have to pay from 125 cedis to 4.2. I saw the information online in order to get your Ghana card replaced. Now the question is, you would go there and instead of probably the process going through for maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, but they will drag you. Because I do see registration for my sister where we already start SIM. If you have issues with your Ghana card and you go to the Ghana card office, they can do it within just 1 week, but they'll say, go and come, konebra, because they want something small, no coffee. So what are we doing with the Ghana card issue? First of all, with the price. The government says 125 cedis to 420. Some people might go and they might ask them to pay more for fast connection. And also, how fast is that going to be? Because if I'm going to make my voter's card and I don't have my Ghana card, and I don't have a guarantor, what am I going to do? So with the Ghana card issue.
All of us know that before someone would be able to get the Ghana card, the person has to be a member of a Ghana. The person has to be a Ghanaian and also attain the age of 18 years. But here's the case that I've seen someone who is a foreigner, but the person has the Ghana card and the voter ID, in which the person is going to be allowed to vote. I don't know. So I want to ask, is there any provision that allows foreigners to come and have access to Ghana card?
Hello, Ethel Rubinati. I want to know if I should, I registered for my voter's ID during the last election, but I never voted. I did it in school, Achimota School, but I live at Afienya. And I thought, if you register in Achimota, you have to go there to vote. So because of that, I have not been able to place my vote. And this year, I do not think I want to do the journey to Achimota to go and vote. Is there a way where I can move, it to where I live? And then
Dr. Imirana.
Yeah, I can take them, right? Still in the order in which they came. I think Ghana card and then replacements. I think the first issuance of Ghana card, first time is for free, right? I go to places and I see they have placed people's Ghana card and other ID cards that have been initially been issued for free, and people go to leave them, right? We are in a country where we have very limited resources in terms of money. So my advice is that if you acquire the first one for free, please keep it well. When you misplace it, right, there are people who misplace it through probably genuine reasons, but how do we verify those who carelessly throw away cards as against those who keep it tightly, right? I also, in principle, does not believe in using monetary barriers to, but also I spoke about procedures, right? Probably if they don't give you that window today, they have to get money from government
to redo it.
To redo it.
Yes.
Probably you have to wait for the next 10 years when government says, oh, there is this money for National Identification Authority, go take it and register. I think they do those arrangements in our own best interest, right? Be it the fact that, sometimes it puts some financial barriers, but it's in our own interest. And also for us to know that, these things have value. It's the taxpayers' monies that are used in printing these cards in the first issue ones. So we have to keep them well. And then there are also, I'll connect the second part of your question to what it says. I think that it is time that we, young persons, for example, begin to take the bull by the horn. If you see something going wrong, don't just come and complain. Take action. You said you've seen somebody with Ghana card, is not a Ghanaian, voter's ID is not a Ghanaian. You know the constitutional arrangement. You report to the right authorities, the police. You have to take that. If you look at our Constitution, the Constitution talks about so much right. Chapter 5 of the Constitution subscribes so many rights for us. When you go to chapter 6, so many things that the state should do to us. But there is a significant article, which is Article 41, the duties of the citizen, right? If we uphold that, if we citizens, right, there are a lot, I can't go through them. But if you go to refer to them and we citizens, and especially young persons, say that today we are standing on our feet to ensure our duties, right, we will enjoy our rights and freedoms better. But because we don't uphold our own duties and responsibilities, then anybody does anything to us and get away with it because we will only come and sit and complain as Ghanaians. So those are my responses. And then the final one about registering at one point, and then the next time you live in another area. I think the Electoral Commission, as part of their process, is sometimes give opportunity for voter transfer, right? You may refer to their calendar for this year. Maybe there may be such opportunity for you to transfer your vote to the place that you live now.
More questions. Sweetheart, let me speak to you. Your name and then your question.
Hello, my name is Deborah February. So my question is, does the Electoral Commission have any provisions for people with disabilities? Yes, like visual impairment. Yes, that's my question. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I hope you're all well. My name is Foster Shati. So what I'm going to say, it's up for interpretation as to if it's a question or it's a message. But then as we go to the polls to vote, I would like our leaders to take this into consideration. As Doc said, he said it's been 30 years since we practiced democracy. And then what is and what ought to be, there's a fine line between the two. The fact that our leaders come, they build roads, hospitals, schools is good. But then they shouldn't expect an applause from us because it is their duty to do so. So when do we go beyond that? When do the citizens get a better life? We might think we are doing it pace by pace, but when do we know we are getting late? I mean, other countries are outpacing us. Post-war Rwanda is outpacing us. So when do we do this?
Another question? Okay, sweetheart.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Gloria Jean Coleman, and my question has to do with accountability and accuracy in these elections. So somewhere in March, there was news that some 7 biometric voters' machines were compromised, missing. Where did they go to, first of all? Secondly, how are we going to be sure as first-time voters that our votes are not going to be compromised and other people that are not qualified to vote are going to vote in specified areas that we know nothing about? Thank you.
Please, Dr. Imurana, over to you.
We have 2, right? Or it's 3 this time around anyway. So the first one first. I think my brother made very important observation. And, well, from where I stand, I call those observations a bit, problematic. I don't want to say erroneous. Because, you see, there are some countries, and that is the comparisons people are making, some countries that are not democratic. And in terms of, social development, we say they are doing well, right? But the sad thing is that democracy has proven to be the most durable form of government we have seen. And I can tell you, all those countries that have seen one leader, right, since Adam, right, a lot of them are not doing well in the first place. Those that you are referring to are outliers. Those that have presidents who have been 40 years in power, 30 years in power, go there and see. You would not like to live in those countries, excuse me. There are outliers anyway. And we make comparison with those outliers. And when you study them, gradually, most of those countries lead towards democracy. There are other systems of government. Things have worked for some people. Fine. You are political science students. You know the political history of this country. We've tasted different types of them. Colonialism, one-party system, military dictatorship. Right? It is the angel you know, democracy. It has brought us 30 years. And in all those regimes, right, there may be short-term reliefs. You know, today there are coups in some countries and immediately they say, oh, that country is moving on. When there are coups, there may be short-term reliefs because people come to you and give you assistance. But the long-term prospects in terms of development in those countries, I'm not spelling doom for any country. I want to speak specifically about Ghana. We have proven to be better off under democracy. And you young persons should push your energies into sustaining this system of government instead of giving up on it. Don't let us give up on what we have built. Let's see how we can improve upon it. And the way we improve upon it is one of them is our periodic elections, right? You are not happy with it, you cast your ballot. Within the next 4 years, there is so much space for us to voice our concern from the district assembly level. How many of us engage with even our assembly members? Meanwhile, the basic problems that we face are from the decentralized level. Choke gutters that cause flood. Are they not the things that we are not happy with? How do we young persons engage with the district assembly, for example? So don't let us give up by probably voting once in 4 years and say it's not working. There are several means through which we can make it work. Beyond elections, let's get involved, right, in the day-to-day activities of governance. Yeah.
Someone also asked about how inclusive, especially for persons living with disability.
Yes. Well, I know the Electoral Commission has different...
Puts that in place.
Exactly, yes. In place for people to ensure inclusion.
Yes, and right. I have actually spoken to them through Just Turned 18, and they have told us that it's been a smooth process. So they get that they're taken care of because the Electoral Commission says that if you're a person living with disability, immediately you get to the place, you should be taken care of first.
There are processes, and sometimes what we hear might not necessarily be the truth. I know for every polling center or polling stations, the political parties are represented. I have heard of the story of biometric machines getting missing, right? I think it is the Electoral Commission that can speak very strongly on some of these issues. They border on very technical things. I heard of serial numbers of biometric machines and so on. Yeah. These are seriously very technical things that I can't
only the Electoral Commission can answer. So, yes, 3 more, our next 3. Okay, gentleman in front here. Your name and your question.
Okay, my name is Osmanu. My question is quite simple. With the political authority given to the president to nominate electoral commissioners, don't you think it's over-politicized, that institution?
Please, can you go about the ordinary residents again? Because I've learned that if a Nigerian is living and working in Ghana, is the person qualified to be a Ghanaian who is supposed to have a voter's ID to vote?
I'm Mary Wellington. I want to know why I cannot walk into any office and register for my voter's ID like I can do for passport, national health, and the rest of the cards. So why? Because there is electoral violence when there is queue to register and all that. So why is it preventing the easy from?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think the first question, the appointment processes of Electoral Commission and so on and so forth. I think for now, that is the constitutional arrangement that we have. And as you mentioned, the 2 parties that have been in government, each of them has appointed, has made appointment to the Electoral Commission, right? People are not happy with it. Some people, there are several arguments. There are arguments for constitutional reforms and review. But until that is done, right? As to the issue about manipulation, these are, I don't know how you prove that in the law court, but for us, NCC, what we do is to educate on the Constitution. For now, the Constitution says the president has to appoint in consultation with the Council of State. Mm-hmm. Then the second question, ordinary resident. When we go through qualification, the qualifications, they are incremental. The first thing is being a citizen. So if you're an ordinary resident and you are not a citizen, you can't register. You understand? Citizenship is the foundation of qualification to register. If you are not, you can be in Ghana, from independence. But if you are not a citizen, you are not supposed to register. They have, sometimes there are conversations about continuous registration. But they have not passed a law to support that yet. Except that when you reach 18, you can go into any of the district office of the Electoral Commission to register. And that makes things simple. So nobody will even bust nobody to send them to any place. And I agree with you about violence. But for now, there is no law to support that yet, right? And they can't do it for now.
Before we continue, let me say a very big thank you to our partners. Let me go over it again. Today, we are supported by Youth Bridge Foundation. They made this dialogue possible. We have Star Ghana Foundation, Petrosol, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, and Chobox Technologies.
In Ghana here, I've realized that most people don't know the duties and the rules of the various institutions here. For example, like this, when you take a member of parliament and the DCs, most people think it's the duty of the member of parliament to do the overall, to develop their localities for them. But it's the DC who's supposed to do that. But most Ghanaians think it is the duty of the member of parliament. So what's the NCC also doing about it? About educating people who are also, who didn't go to school, who are also illiterate and, they don't know much about all these things.
My name is Intifu Elisha Boyan, and my question is based on the Ghana card. I'm someone that I'm having some error with my Ghana card, so I journeyed to South Pond for it to be corrected. And yes, they took my details and accepted that it can be done for me. So they asked me to come and I will receive an alert to come for it later. I was here last year and I got a message from their website asking me to come with 35 cedis e-cash and come for it. And I received a message around 4 p.m. And because I was occupied here, I couldn't go journeying from here to Central Region to take it. I couldn't do that. So we vacated and I went. And I asked them that could I get it now? I was there with the money. They told me that no, I cannot get it because there is an increment. And I want to ask that, is that fair? Because I don't know. How could you send a message like that? And when I journey to the place, you tell me that I should go back because there is an increment. Even if I am having the 120 cedis with me, you cannot give it out to me. So I don't know. Is there something you can say about this for me?
All right. Thank you very much. I will take the first two first, the border on us. And I'm thankful that I've been able to provoke you to turn the conversation on my organization. There is a question about, I think the two questions border on the effectiveness on the NCC. Yeah, we take feedback in good faith. But we've been doing a lot. And I can tell you, part of the reasons why, right, we are living peacefully in Ghana is partly the work of the National Commission for Civic Education, believe it or not. Not only during elections that are we seen. We are present every day. We carry out activities every day. As I sit here in the morning, I'm planning as director of programs, drawing a plan of activities for World Environmental Day. The environment is critical. Somebody talks about policies, environmental degradation. We do education on how we can sustain our environment. We have civic education clubs in school. As any of you, let me be daring and ask if any of you has been a member of our civic club, either in secondary school. Can I see? Yes, I can count so many hands. So these are testimonies of the work that we've been doing. And these are people who were there when they didn't even have a card to vote. But the reality is that as those who carry out education on democracy, you agree with me, elections are very crucial in sustaining democratic governance. They are not an end to democracy, but they are very crucial. When you miss it, so if you say you see us more pronounced, let me tell you on a lighter note, these days, even prophecies, when they are giving it, they lace it with elections. Am I lying? Is it not true? Yes, so that is why it is when there is election that even you people look for us and ask, where is NCC? On ordinary day, when we go day to day to do activities, right? Sometimes we hardly get the attention of people. On radio, when people call, instead of talking about their district assembly, they would like to discuss national politics. District assembly, the role of the MP. We are a key partner of parliament in doing education. But there are certain things that roll back the work that we do. One, from institutional perspective. Two, from the citizens. Time without number. We really echo the fact that members of parliament are to make laws. Right? Let the member of parliament go back to his constituency today. If anybody comes to ask him, what law have you made? Am I lying? We are here, even among those of us who are highly educated. What do we involve them in? Development. We go to requests on a daily basis. Then on their part, these are elections. They know they are not the people to construct roads, but they will go and make road construction as part of their promises. So it is those of us who have the knowledge. We insist that civic education is a shared responsibility. If you go back to our grassroots, we have about 1,700 staff, as against a population of 30 million. In terms of face-to-face interaction, you can see the constraint that we can face. But when we send the message here, and through you, we are able to multiply and amplify it, it will be understood. So that is actually the crux. People talk about, well, we should talk about our challenges. You see, me, if I get opportunity like this, for me, it is not the place for me to come and say, I have not been paid my salary. Right? What will it change? I have to use this platform to amplify the work that I'm doing. And that is what we are doing here. And nobody should say, at least from here, I've gotten witnesses. Please, on a daily basis, if you Google the work that we do, right, you will see us present. I've mentioned the social media. Today, because of population, face-to-face interaction is becoming complex. But on a daily basis, we have media, we are present on social media. So if you want to see us, please look for us. We are also looking for you. We can't do it all. Last year, in this hall, I was here when we revived our civic education club here. And we've replicated that in several institutions. Thank you very much.
So please, as she heard, he says, help him help you. Look for him or look for them so they can also find you, okay? All right, so this is our last round of questions. This time we're doing 5 and we're done. So please, 5 people, questions?
Yes, my name is Alma Lati. And my question is, I'll be a first-time voter this year. But my question is concerning the factors which discourage us when we are going to cast our votes. There was a by-election at Ejisu, and after the interview, we heard the woman say even if a stone was the candidate, she would still vote for that particular political party. So hearing comments like that for first-time voters, makes us doubtful as to whether or not our vote will really incite change. Because it seems the long-time voters are more hell-bent on the political party rather than looking at the policies or the condition of the situation around them. So I want to know what you have to say to us. concerning people who think like this.
Okay, I'm Desmond. I want to ask, how can we know that some policies are just sloganeering?
Regards to the political parties who have been sharing money at the various polling stations for we the first-time voters, what should we do when they approach us? For me like this, what I'll do is I'll reject the money. Because no, it's true. Like you are trying to tell me that I'm a fool. It's true. You are trying to tell me that I'm a fool. So what I'll do is I'll reject the money. Then I'll vote against you. I'll make sure I'll vote against you. But I've been talking to most of our guys, and they've been telling me that they will take the money and vote. So what do you have to tell them?
Okay. Can I
says he's jackpine from the
Can I
money.
take the 3 so that I don't forget?
All right, 3.
First one talks about, I don't want the expression disillusionment with the system. Somebody says, oh, if they put a stone. I earlier on spoke about, the fact that people vote for different reasons, right? People vote on family traditions. People vote on different reasons. But the best way to vote is to vote on policies and programs, right? That best way is the difficult way. It is the difficult way that will give you the dividend that democracy should give you. And I always insist that I'm glad that we are holding this conversation here, because we are the people who can decipher, we can tell right from wrong, true from lies, right? Then it sends me to issue about policies, right? And slogans, right? They are, what do you call it, chicken and egg situation. Certain things come out as pronouncement and they yield results. There are also some plenty paperwork, right, on issues. And you hardly say these are the outcomes of them. But by and large, it depends on us, right? All these people that are coming clamoring for our vote, they are not descending from the skies, we know, right? So we have to make the right choices. Choices that fits our orientation based on, actionable options. If somebody comes to tell you this, and you see that this thing is far away from the truth, we are lucky here. We know, we know our situations. So if somebody is telling you something that you think this is a fairy tale, use your mind. Then sends me to the issue about money. And I think it's one of the things at NCC we have flagged as an unfortunate development, right, in our democratic journey. The influence of money in politics. And these are things that nobody will shy away from, because the politicians themselves are coming out to complain. I paid 1,000 and our opponent paid 2,000. The way the thing is going is not good at all. But you have paid. No, have you not heard from them themselves when they meet their delegates and then they sometimes outsmarted or outreached by their opponents? Don't they come to complain? There are laws that bar voter inducements. The laws of Ghana shone upon that, right? And we should know, anything that you take to vote is a tax waiting for you in the future. So monies that we take today, I'm pleased, my brother, you have taken the path of righteousness, so you will reject the money, right? I will not outrightly condemn your colleagues who say they will take, but I will remind them, politics is public service. If somebody comes to say, I'm giving you money to give me the chance to serve you, what should go into your mind? Would you have the capacity to hold that fellow accountable in the future? So let's think through these things very carefully. It is true that difficulties may push us into the temptation of accepting those inducements. But it is also true, in the long run, it is those inducements that we take that will compound the capacity, right, to solve our problems as a nation. So don't let us reduce ourselves as mere voters, especially as students. We should uphold our citizenship rights, values, and also discharge our citizenship duties. It is the only way, right, we can see development. It is the only way that we can demand accountability from our leaders. But when you reduce ourselves to somebody coming to, give us handouts, right? And we become their followers on a daily basis. Please, because of one day, going to vote. And the next day, the fellow has turned their face away from you because they think that they have bought you. You sold ourselves for cheap. You are humanity. And this being a Ghanaian, we have to value it. Times are hard, but your Ghanaianness, please let's value it and let's not sell it for cheap. Thank you.
Please let's put our hands together for Dr. Imurana. He's been amazing. He has been good. Now, I know that a lot of us still have a lot of questions to ask. There are things we want to know, but the conversation doesn't stop here. You can still follow them on all your social media platforms, follow the NCC and get all your questions answered. He told you that they are always there to answer the questions. So please, the rest of the questions you want to know, please do well to follow them on your social media platforms and ask them. But you guys have been amazing. Put your hands together for yourselves. Please, this energy, you won't cut it. More. Right. So as I said, this conversation couldn't have happened with Dr. Imurana. He is the Director of Programs at the National Commission for Civic Education. And let's also put our hands together for our sign language interpreter, Auntie Joyce. And also, because I like a lot of fans, I think I've also done my job well. Didn't I do my job? Please put your hands together for me. So yes, as I said, this is just turned 18. This has been a very insightful conversation, hasn't it been? Yeah. We've learned a lot of things, and I know that in 8 months we will be ready than ever to make sure that we, vote for the people we want to vote for. Effect change the right way. As he said, your vote is important. Before I let all of us go, let me make us understand that so far as you are a Ghanaian, it is your duty, your civic responsibility to vote. Let's vote for change. Our voices matter. I said it earlier that if the youth alone are over 1.5 million when it comes to elections, please, that we are very important. Our voices are very key. So please do not sleep on the elections. Come 7 December, please make sure that you are there to vote. Vote, vote, vote. Do not sleep on it. And please, enjoy yourselves as you do that because we are young and we deserve to enjoy ourselves. Please, let's put our hands together for ourselves again. Before I go, let me say a very big thank you to our sponsors, Star Ghana Foundation, to Petrosol, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the Association of International Certified Professionals Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, and Showbox Technologies. Also, let's say a very, very, very huge thank you to Youth Bridge Foundation for making this dialogue happen. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And this has been great. But before I go, let me make us understand again that this is on Joy Prime. We show this every Saturday at 10 a.m. and on Joy News on Mondays at 1:30. So if you don't watch us on Saturday, quickly tune into Joy News and then watch, okay, at 1:30 on Mondays. Let me also say a very big thank you to the Dean of our POSA. Please clap, 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 clap. And also the President of POSA. Mr. President, thank you so much for making this happen. This has been an amazing conversation, but as I said, this conversation doesn't stop. We are here till the end of the elections. We're making sure that we get from every youth, the Ghanaian youth, especially first-time voters, we want to still know pertinent issues that will influence the decision to vote. So every time we'll be here. If you don't see me now, you see me in your community very, very soon. My name is Loishola Ademi, and this has been Just Turned 18. Until you see me in your area, do have an amazing time. And remember that you see me very, very soon. Just Turned 18 has been amazing.